Hi everyone. Today we're at Compton Gardens in the UK. This garden was built in the 1920s and it houses different styles of gardens in different sections of this huge area. Originally we just wanted to film the Japanese garden section, but Adam and I noticed as we were walking through that there are so many Japanese gardening plants on the way to the Japanese gardening section that we wanted to share this with you as well. So let's get started here with walking towards the Japanese garden in a big detour, and we're now walking towards the wooded valley garden. It's a beautiful pathway. Sorry in case you can hear a little bit of traffic noise and other noise in the background, but there are so many beautiful plants that I would like to show you, so let's get started walking to the Japanese garden section. Here you can see beautiful camellia trees. Those are trees that are very common in gardens in Japan, and also you see a lot of those here in the UK because the climate is really good for them and they grow here easily. In our garden the climate is a little bit too harsh and they do not grow, and this is why we grow the Portuguese laurel, because it looks somewhat similar even though it doesn't bloom. But here you can have a look. This is an overhanging one. It's really beautiful with these pink big blossoms. Here you can see another camellia blooming in red. Also so nice, and you see these waxy shiny leaves which are somewhat similar to the Portuguese laurel that we have in our garden. So nice. Here another one in pink. And if you look down the pathway, you can see all these large camellia bushes growing everywhere in between rhododendron and some azaleas, like here the Japanese azaleas. Here's another very beautiful camellia tree, really tall, and with these pink blossoms. Look how full they are. So that's a different type again. Really nice. Now we're going to be walking further along through rhododendron and more camellia trees I can see from here, and then we'll stop further down the pathway again. Here we have some Japanese azaleas. More camellia trees. And here you see a big hedge of these rhododendron that grow everywhere here. Here I wanted to show you these beautiful ferns. Look, they're so tiny and they're growing in between all the other plants on these rocks here. Very, very nice. I really like those. Here we have a Japanese holly, like we have it in our garden as well. And in the background you can see a Japanese andromeda, a really tall one, and the new shoots come out in red. Now let's walk over the bridge. You can see a small bridge here and continue around the corner. Here we're coming to a really nice corner. This is a rhododendron, and here look at this beautiful big Japanese azalea. This must be quite old, and this grows out this entire area here. Underneath you can see that they grow out from the old wood like they typically do. All the new shoots down here. And walking down here past another Camellia tree. And a really large Japanese holly bush. And you see all the new shoots coming out in this brighter green color. And have a look down here, how beautiful all the Japanese azaleas, and almost growing like a tree in the background you can see the Japanese andromeda. You see how big they get after a while. Let's go have a look. Look at this. It's almost like a tree. So if you let them grow, they get really big. And here you can see again the new shoots, how they come out in this red color. And then over the season they grow, or they turn into this green color, and this is how they stay for the rest of the year. Here we have another very big Japanese azalea in full bloom, and a Japanese andromeda right there in the background. In the background you can see a big Japanese maple tree. This is a Dissectum Japanese maple, but it's the type that has an upright growing shape. So you see it grows like a normal Japanese maple tree. Really beautiful, so large. Let's go a bit closer. This is a close-up of the leaves. They're rather small and the first blossoms are coming out. Here I'm standing under another very big Camellia tree. And this shrub looks like a Skimmia, already in bloom or just coming out. Quite big, this one. And here is another example of a Japanese andromeda. This is a different type. You see that the new leaves come out in a light green color, not in red. There are many different cultivars of these. This also has quite a big size. And you see at the back, this one branch there, we're almost growing in a tree size. Okay, then let's move to the next section of the garden. The next section is the rock and water gardens. Let's have a look. In this entire garden area you can find a lot of old red pines, and I'm standing right next to one. They have a really beautiful canopy if you want to have a look up. A very large and beautiful Japanese maple, a Dissectum variety. Could maybe be a varieties, but it's hard to tell really from just looking at it. But in this, it has this bright green color, and also the blossoms are coming out. It's a really big one, and looking in there actually you can see that this one is planted on a slope, so you see the trunk isn't actually very tall. It is in fact quite a low graft, and because it is planted on a slope, the branches grow longer than the height of the trunk. So looking down here, you can see how deep down they grow. So that's a very good idea, alternative on how to plant this type of Dissectum maples that are growing in this type of shape, in this dome shape. Here we have another quite big Japanese Azalea. This one is not open yet. It looks like a... here there's one. A pink one, a darker pink. Very beautiful. And another small Japanese maple. Also a Dissectum one. This is a red one. And there's actually a bigger one down there, looking down. Okay, then let's move on. Oh, a nice little waterfall feature here. This is a clump forming bamboo. It looks like the rufa bamboo, the one we have, and they're built quite beautiful hedges. So you see it grows out and then it starts to hang over, like you can see on this branch. And the overall picture looks like that. So if it's not cut, it will just start hanging over. We're just on our way to the Japanese part of this garden, and look what I've just found, black bamboo. This one is really, really tall. I don't think this has been pruned, and it's quite thick, so this must have been growing here for quite a while. If you want to know more about black bamboo, we just released a video just recently. Finally, here we are at the Japanese garden. Let's walk through and I'll talk you through it along the way. I'll be walking backwards so you can see the best view experience. Here we have a Japanese andromeda, again the one with the red new tips, or red new leaves. There's some more. This grass here, and I'll put that in the video, the names. This is found a lot in gardens in Japan as like a ground cover. It's available in different colors. It's quite low growing. It comes out as like one piece here, and then it's the leaves, they start a bit higher up. Okay, then in the background you can see the big bamboo. Look at that, that's golden bamboo, but that's the really big one. You see how thick these canes are, and you see how tall it is. I'm just looking for a few new shoots, but I think it's a bit too early in the season for that. I can't see any yet, but soon probably they will be coming out. So let's continue along the pathway. Here's some clumping bamboo in kind of a hedge formation. I don't think this is the rufa, because there are different types of this clumping bamboo, and this one looks to be more upright growing. Quite thin, and they do not spread, so it's great for hedges and screening. Let's continue around this way. There are loads of Japanese azaleas growing like almost a hedge really, and mixed with rhododendron. And here you can see a stone lantern, really beautiful. So this is, it looks like an original stone lantern, maybe made out of granite, not 100% sure. Very, very nice. And in the background here, look at this, another example of a huge Japanese andromeda growing in the size of almost a small tree. Going this way, so looking along here, you can see all the Japanese azaleas. Some are in blossom, some not yet. Here, rhododendron. Another stone lantern here. And a different type of Japanese azalea with larger blossoms in a light pink. Very pretty. And a camellia tree here, pruned into this nice upright shape. And then having a look into the main section, you can see a pagoda back there, a real stone pagoda. And then you can see the pond, but we'll go there. Here are more Japanese azaleas, a Japanese maple. You can see the beautiful branch structure. It's a Dissectum type maple. So the ones that grow in this dome shape. And then We have here a rhododendron and another beautiful stone lantern, different shape and a different height, and the stone pagoda you can see up close up. Very nice. Here's some holly, another big Japanese azalea with a bumblebee right there. Oh, no, it disappeared. Maybe you saw that. It's in there. This looks almost like a yew. I'm not 100% sure. Another Japanese maple. This is a red, looks like a palmatum type maple. And more Japanese azaleas. And Japanese andromeda. Here's a variegated type of Japanese andromeda. We're now on the other pathway, and that will lead us over the water twice as far as I can see from here. So just follow me along and we'll check it out. First stepping stone here. So that's a great use of stepping stones. If you have a stepping stone pathway, for example, that leads over a water body or a little creek, that's really beautiful. Now walking past more azaleas and Japanese andromeda. Ooh, and this one is sacred bamboo or Nandina domestica. And you can still see the red berries it builds. They're typically there over the winter, and then it will get new blossoms soon. Here the pathway continues over the pond as it's something like a combination of stepping stones and a bridge. So let's take that pathway. And standing here and looking over the pond, what a beautiful view. I've just stopped here because of the Torii gate. You can see a Torii gate in Japan is typically an entrance to a Shinto shrine, but sometimes it is found in gardens as well as a garden feature, so to say. And here, standing here, actually it builds a bit of a framed view, which is also something used in Japanese garden design. And if you look through here, let's get Adam come closer, you can actually see that the Torii gate builds kind of a picture frame, and you can see through and see this beautiful Japanese maple and the cherry blossom. Now follow me along around the rest of the pond, and there's also a little Japanese bridge coming up. Beautiful, the cherry blossom. Another beautiful cherry blossom tree here, blooming in this pink. Could be, it looks almost like a Kansan cherry. Very pretty. Oh, first ones are falling off. This brings us to the end of the tour at Compton Acres. It is located in Poole at the UK south coast in case you want to visit it. I'll link the webpage in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour. See you next time. Bye.